To make this artificial meat, we have invented genetically modified soybean. We have plant protein which is contaminated. We have animal protein which is contaminated. So please be aware that whatever you are eating, we are eating contaminated with chemicals, and most of them are poisons.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Sarala. Welcome to Millet Magic.
Namaste. Now the story of the protein doesn't stop. If we were to eat protein which is made naturally, we have discussed the problems therein. Sadly now, in the last 20-25 years, the whole human race has been fed artificial meat. To make this artificial meat, we have invented what is called soybean, genetically modified soybean. The soybean protein came to existence because the production of meat has to be in large and large quantities. And soybean, a legume that has naturally 20 to 23% protein, has been now genetically modified to make almost up to 30% of the protein. And this protein rich soybean with genetically modified corn, American corn, both are mixed together and then fed to various animals and birds. This enhances the process of meat making and the industrial production of meat began. And now the amount of soybean produced in the last, I believe, 15 years is up to 1600 million tons, and the corn again 1600 million tons. And soybean by nature is a dicot. When it grows, it invites a lot of weeds. So now we needed a weedicide, that is a herbicide, which can kill all the plants, but soybean plant has to be not affected. So to that extent, to that direction, soybean plant has been equipped with an enzyme that degrades the herbicide. So now we can make the plants to degrade the herbicide and be living, while other plants which are not modified in this fashion are going to die. So now we have the soybean plant genetically modified, growing in large acres, producing high yields because the weeds are not around. In the initial days, it was 2,4-D called Agent Orange, a chemical used in the Vietnam War, a defoliating agent, that is, which blocks the biosynthesis of chlorophyll itself. And chlorophyll and hemoglobin, that is our red blood cells, these two share protoporphyrin. Protoporphyrin with iron is blood, hemoglobin. Protoporphyrin with magnesium is chlorophyll. So now if I have a interrupting chemical which blocks the biosynthesis of chlorophyll, and now I eat soybean that is loaded with this residue obviously we are going to have our biosynthesis of hemoglobin itself disrupted, and hence we will have troubles in our blood system. Of course, nowadays they slowly evolved to a chemical called glyphosate, which is just a protein biosynthesis disruptor in the plants plus defoliating agents. So now the tonnage of herbicide used in the world is so high that we are finding it's in parts per million in the blood stream of penguins that live in South Pole. So you can imagine that we have contaminated almost every soil, every water body on this planet in the name of producing the meat. So now we have plant protein which is contaminated. We have animal protein which is contaminated. So it's not just the protein and the nitrogen story that we have talked in the last 3 episodes. Now we have something else to deal with. This could lead to a lot of issues, and the studies have not been complete yet, but we are so clear that it is interrupting our endocrine systems and could be the rise of cancer due to this one aspect alone. So artificial meat production has introduced one more component of these residues going into our bloodstream. We are endangering our health. So soybean, corn, feeding into the animals along with steroids, antibiotics. So the system is getting more and more complicated, more and more poisons. So we all need to be aware that the artificial production of meat in such large quantities requires the production in the plant kingdom. So this is where we are, whether you eat egg, whether you eat beef, whether you eat pig, whether you eat chicken, it's all coming through your soybean and corn. So please be aware that whatever you are eating, we are eating contaminated with chemicals, and most of them are poisons. What do you choose? Simple legumes that are not manipulated, or the manipulated soybean? And you all are aware of the business propaganda about the soybean being the best protein, and many people who are actually vegans choose this soya protein thinking that it is very good for them, but you are actually endangering yourself with not only the high content of protein plus all these residual chemicals that are riding with it. You all have to be very clear about what is going into your mouth in the name of protein, be it animal protein, be it plant protein. So these are the important factors that you all should be aware, and let's be mindful and choose our food right. Plant protein that is not manipulated is good for you. Legumes, and that too in regulated quantities. I'm happy to say that we have had the good fortune of reversing many of these diseases that are caused by high protein intake with minimum intervention, and then correcting the food practices and inclusion of dietary fiber, that is millet fiber, has enhanced quality of life enormously. So Please start studying, learning, changing, and be healthy.